Can you hear me? I don't know if I've turned my microphone on. Hello everyone, welcome. So good to see you all here. Someone's going to work soon, so I better get started. Hi Helen. I thought by the time I type everything, it's just easier to pop in and say good day. Oh, thank you. Ta-da. All good here. Just a little bit wet. Oh, I meant to see how much rain we had yesterday, so I could tell you. Oh, great. So you can hear me. Wonderful. So we're going to be doing some slimline cards today. I thought that was perfect after all the chocolate I ate last weekend. Hot cross buns. Gosh, you're coming in from everywhere. Welcome everybody. So exciting to have you here. It's taken me a while to get on the slimline bandwagon. I don't know. Is anyone else making? I know. Thank you, Maxine. It is posh tea. I've got breakfast tea. I don't think mine's posh this morning. I might try your posh tea a bit later on before I go to work. Thank you. This is an emu one. I've got a few of these. It's a really cool Australian artist. Hi Steph, welcome. Helen, who else? Edith, welcome. No, I haven't. I used to make, they weren't called slimline cards back then, but I used to make the DL, I used to call them, cards, because that's the envelope that they fit in here in Australia. I don't think that's universal though. So I used to make them DL cards years ago. So I thought, oh, they are hard to photograph. I totally agree. I'm actually, I usually photograph on a table, like a low table, like an IKEA $6 one. Do you know those little square tables that you put together in 3 minutes? So I'm finding it's easier if I put them on the ground, Michelle, put the actual, so I can get a bigger picture and then I can just crop it down easy. I'm finding that's much easier. Don't know if that'll help anyone. Cool. Well, I better get started and we'll start going through some stuff. So Cordelia, you've made a few. There's the thing with slimline, it seems like there's no set size. I was having a bit of a look and I was asked to make some slimline cards by Martha. I'll get some ideas for slimlines. So I had a little look into the sizes and apparently Gina Kay has a few ideas and some dies and stuff as well. And she was saying that it's a 4 by 9 inch, which to me seems a bit odd because it's not like set in stone, but then you'd have to cut your paper this way to get the 4 by 9. And to me that just seems like such a big waste of paper. So I've been making 8.5 by 3.5 inch, so that way I can just use the paper long ways and just fold it. And I've got this set of dies here, so I've got some great Alan Hudson products to use today, but also they sell the Altenew at their store, so I've got these as well. But the nesting slim rectangles from Altenew, I've just been making my cards in the largest size of that, which is just a little bit shy of the width of the A4. Yeah, 3.5 by 7, actually that sounds like a really sweet sort of size, because it is such a big, for us card makers, it is a really different or big space to fill on our cards compared to the A2, which is what, the 4.5 by 5.5, and a lot of our products are aimed at that sort of size as well. So I thought I'd just give you some tips on what I do to fill up that space or not. Especially, I think it's actually harder to do a clean and simple slimline. Oh, no worries. Thanks for popping in, Wendy. Hope you get to watch the live a bit later on. But thanks for saying good day. Say hello to your was it grandmother? You're going to grandma. Say hello to your grandma for us. Okay, so I thought there are so many dies and things out there, but I was going to say you don't have to have slimline dies to make a slimline card. You can actually die cut. Like I was going to say, with this waffle flower, like say you've got just a regular rectangle die, you can actually extend a die and cut it so that it can be the size that you want. And that just is a partial die cut. So you only partially die cut and then you re-die cut it through, and don't die cut the centre bit. So you can actually make slimline die cuts out of your normal die cuts. We're not going to do that today because I've got lots to do and I probably don't have time. But if anyone wants me to do that, I can actually do that on one of my other lives in the future if you're interested. I think that's a fairly simple way of extending, like using your die cuts. Hi Laurie, welcome. So happy you're here. So what I thought I'd do was ink smooshing, some little bit of watercolouring, and I've got the Mondo hydrangea. So this stamp is a perfect size for an A2 card. So, but you can use like regular size stamps for the slimline cards as well. I thought I was just going to show you, like I reckon any of these flowers you could use, and you can use them to cover the area. You can just keep stamping, or you can use them as a focal point. So I thought I just grabbed out a few, and these Mondo flowers would be beautiful, especially that Sakura. But another thing I was going to share was the this stamp here, which is an Alta New. It's from it's the Courageous You stamp. It's massive, and I have a Slimline card coming out later this week, so keep an eye on that on my blog, and you'll see that how you can use such a big stamp. It just makes it basically does the Slimline card for you, except for a sentiment. So I've just put the, I'm not sure if I'll use any of those ones yet, but I will leave them aside just in case I change my mind along the way and do some different stamping. But I'm going to start by creating some smooshed paper, because it's going to take a little bit of time to dry. And I'm using my Bristol and my Distress inks. So it's going to be inky today. Oh no, what have I got? Got the blue out of one. So that blue was the Mermaid Lagoon, and this purple is the Wilted Violet. I just love Distress inks for watercolour. They make it really easy. I'm going to add a bit of water here, and then I can see I do this every time. That's okay though. I'll flip it over. I have got a piece of acetate here to pick up the colour with. And because we're making such a big card, I'm going to do a big area. Now I know that the water can take a little while to dry, or the ink can take a little while to dry. So I have got my heat tool here, so I can actually speed up the process a little bit. The only thing I don't like about the heat tool is it kind of warps your paper a little bit more. But it is not watercolour paper, this Bristol Smooth. It's actually tolerates water pretty well. Just mixing it up a bit. I'm going to let that dry a little bit before I add some green. Or maybe I'll add the green later. What do you reckon? Can you see the acetate? Is that it? This card here, I should have had this all on the block ready to go. How are you going there? It's pretty, I Colour combos are my thing. I just love playing with colour. I've had this thought recently where I'm going to create my own colour combos to share with you guys, because I think that would be helpful, because some people really struggle with them, like I'm struggling to find a block. Here's one, that'll do. So when you're using watercolours, hi Janet, welcome. Oh man, is it raining in Melbourne? It is still raining here. We've had such a busy weekend. I worked a couple of the days, but then we have visitors, extra dog, so 3 visitors. So there was 2 dogs, 4 adults and 1 teenager, and about 7 inches of rain, and a renovation, and chocolate. There was chocolate, so that was the good bit. So this is the Morning Mist Versa Fine Clear. So if you're going to be doing watercolouring, you need an ink that's going to tolerate water, like this is a pigment ink. So things like your Memento. Oh, I thought I had blocks out. I'll put them somewhere safe. No rain. Cool. You guys are lucky. And the cats, yes. But the cats did hide under the bed. They weren't, their little visiting dog is a barker. So they weren't really impressed with that. I like that this set has the, oopsie, extra bits of flower. The 2 little flowers to go with it. These Versafine Clairs are lovely inks. They stamp really nicely. And I would compare their Nocturne to the Obsidian. And probably you can get a refill, I think, for the Nocturne, but you can't get the refill for the Obsidian ink. So if you're looking for it, but it's still pigment, so it's not one of those inks that you can use for absolutely everything, which can be frustrating, but I usually know what medium I'm going to use. I'm just going to quickly dry this because I'm going to... you know what I forgot? I forgot the leaf. I'm probably going to need a leaf, aren't I? Where are my dies? So this is, I'm hoping this might be the front of a card. So that would be good there. You could use it as a butterfly. Do you reckon it needs one more? Won't hurt, will it? See you, Helen. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you get to see the replay. Okay. All right, so The good thing about the heat tool, this particular heat tool, is it's got the 2 speeds on it. So it's great for drying things. I never thought I'd use it as much as I do. Hello, Masked Owl Creations. My sister would like you. She loves owls. They're one of her favourite things. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit here. Okay. And this is going to be messy colouring. Seriously messy colouring. That was the plan anyway. And we'll see whether it works out or not. I hope so. The thing with the watercolouring is it will dry a little bit lighter. This was going to be I'm hoping this will be my clean and simple sort of version of card for a slimline. Because I think for me, having a lot of white, it's almost like it's got too much white space. It's a harder thing to achieve. Hi Oksana, welcome from Adelaide. That's where my sister lives. It's a beautiful city. Messy by nature. Actually, this wilted violet isn't turning out as bright as I want. I'll just pick it up a little bit. Pick up my game. So who else has been really busy lately? I've got, for some reason it just feels like all the planets have aligned and everything's happening all at once. Yeah, I don't understand it. I think maybe it's because last year felt quieter. Now we're just doing all our normal stuff again. For us, anyway, we're not in lockdown at the moment, although we did have a bit of a scare last week, which is a little bit frustrating because my dad goes into hospital today to have surgery. Having his knee done, which was delayed almost 12 months because of COVID, and I'm going down there to visit and help him when he gets home from hospital. And if we have a scare, what happens here is our states stop us from travelling between states, or if you travel, then you've got to actually isolate, test, and there's no point going down for a week if you've got to isolate the whole time that you're there. So cross fingers. So far I haven't been in any of what they call the orange zones or red zones, so I'm allowed to travel, but it could change. But I'm just so cross my fingers he gets to have his surgery tomorrow, it's all okay. Still not leaving the territory though. Do you mean the Northern Territory? ACT. Your territory, where you live, Lisa. It makes it difficult. People are too afraid to travel here just in case they get caught between states. This could be interesting. See how this turns out. It's really messy watercolouring this. Just let that dry for a second. Thank you. Yes, I hope everything goes well for him as well. His joints are, you know, he's in such a mess with his joints. Arthritis is, a person who gets a cure for arthritis will be very wealthy. Excuse me. Let's speed this up a bit. You do. I usually like to let it dry naturally if I can. Cool. Thanks, Sharon. I'll tell him. That's why I'm going down to make sure he does it, I think. Sorry, nearly there. Watching paint dry. I missed something, haven't I? I will make sure he does his physio though. I think that's why I'm going to go down there. I don't think he'll listen to my mum. Yeah. These lockdowns are so difficult. This is my first flight since COVID, and I'm really pleased that I've had my vaccinations. Hi Sally, welcome. Just a few. I find a lot of these, it's like an analogous colour combination, which just means that anywhere between 3 and 5 colours that are beside each other on the colour wheel will always work well together. And I think this is one of my favourites. This one. Okay. Yeah, took me a long time to be able to do any messy watercolouring. And then you don't know when to stop. That's the problem sometimes. Okay, I'll just let that one dry again. Do I need more colour? I might need more colour. I haven't got any green on this yet, but what I'll do is I can always put more out, because otherwise you know what's going to happen, don't you? I'm going to end up with this everywhere. And then my clean and simple card won't be so clean and simple. So this one, what I thought I might do is just like choose a section. I'll go the other way. Because it's such a big, I better zoom out again now. Sorry for the rocking. It's such a big area to work on, isn't it? Kind of liking it long ways better. Just cut it long ways. Change of plan. Now I do want to do some stamping on this, and you could do any flowers or images, you know, that you want. You could even do a geometric, but see, like something like this, if I stamp that on there, how pretty would that be? And just do it like in that line image, and you could do it in black or the grey. I just used the grey on the other one, and I was going to use the grey on this one, but now I'm feeling the black. What do you reckon? Should I do black or grey stamping this time? Because I was thinking grey. Black, black. Oh, Lisa, that's a tough one. Open heart surgery in lockdown, just before lockdown. I've looked after people who had open heart surgery during lockdown, and their family couldn't even get in to see them. It was horrible. So not fair. Oh, I might just leave it on the block. Old school. Black. Everyone's saying black. Okay, why not? Maybe I'll do grey in the other one. So this is the Obsidian black ink I was telling you about. It's awesome ink. I'm actually on my second ink pad now. Shouted myself a new one. It's a pigment ink though, so it's no good with the like Copic markers. It is pretty. And what I thought, I'd just flow that kind of flower down the card. Do you think we need a leaf? go that way. So any sort of floral image, these Mondo flowers are perfect for something like this because they're already like in a bunch, but they're not too big, but you can actually build your own little bouquets if you want, like, or just use a single flower and just like stamp it flowing down the front too. Has anyone tried the mini slimlines yet? That was the other thing I was looking into, and as far as I can tell, you can make them whatever size you want to, because that's how we roll. Right. But I think it sounds like the mini slimlines are kind of like the 3 by 6, so 3 inches by 6 inches. Now, will I add the green? Here's the next thing. Hi Amy, welcome. No, and you don't need any of the slimline paraphernalia to create slimline cards, but it does make it easier. Kind of does need that little bit of green, don't you reckon? Why not? We got plenty of time. And the good thing about this ink is it's also water resistant, so perfect with water painting. And this won't take long to dry. I did make my first mini slimline the other day. You'll see it coming up soon. It's not the usual size though. I used the Altenew, these rectangle dies, and I just went with that basically. And I'm not going to do all the stems, all the leaves I don't think, just do the highlight of the centre. You know, I'll probably change my mind. Good like that. Okay, let that one dry for a sec. Come back to this one. Will that fit in my Gemini? Not quite. Still not. That's the thing with Bristol. Have you found it doesn't dry real quick? That sounds like fun, Michelle. You have to do it while it's wet. Could you hear me over the heat tool? Has anyone else tried that? Putting the paper towel through with cardstock. Well, no, with cardstock and a embossing folder. As only Michelle would know how. You're the embossing folder queen. Amazing. Of course, my there's big decisions here, mate. Always big decisions to be made when it comes to our cards. And it takes a while to dry, but it packs a punch. There's not much sun in the Gold Coast at the moment. We had over 2 inches of rain yesterday, 2 inches the day before, more over the weekend, more today. Already had about 10 millimetres, what's that, nearly half an inch today. Do you know, I just put that away without actually die cutting it. Oh dear me, I can tell I'm tired. Okay, next one. So what I did was used my 110 cardstock and basically got the size of this and made my own card base. It's really easy to do. This is going to be my clean and simple design. The thing with these I find is they pump up at you, so I just use like a dotted adhesive to keep my card base closed while I'm working on it. And then while I take my photos and everything, and then afterwards I just use like a gum eraser. Open this up and remove that. Don't leave it for months. I've done that before. And I might even use some of this. Do you think it needs more? Like it is very clean and simple for such a big space. What do you reckon? I've got to put a sentiment on it. And by doing it this way, I'm not going to have any of the other colours, like in my other whites. We can't have that now, can we? So the other thing with slimline cards is you can really use your, other than your big stamps, like the big bouquet stamps or repeat stamping, smaller images to cover the front, you can also use big sentiments. And it's a great way, because then they kind of become a focal point. But no, I'll just hold that in place, stick that corner down.
Excuse my head.
Stick that corner down and remove my tape. Tiny black border. This actually has like a, I don't know if you can see it, when this one cuts it does a little line around the inside edge of it. So you could, if you were clever, like draw that. I just thought, I was kind of thinking like a simple sentiment. So when I was saying you can use a large on these areas, like if you've got, look at this, it's like this is a really large sentiment. So say, I might even use that on the other one yet. But it's a great way to use a large sentiment on a card. Oh, I might use that. Why not? Or something like this. This is the winning words from Julie. And that's got some fun, like hooray, winning and crushing it. Like that's quite a big sentiment, and that could work really well on a slimline card just because you've got more space. Oh, I had to get that one out again. Or multiple sentiments. So something like this where you get like happy birthday, don't worry, you're not that old. So you can actually layer a couple or have one popped up and stamp one underneath. So you could do that. This card I probably wouldn't do that on because it's, although I could make it a landscape card, couldn't I? I wasn't intending that. I was going to have like a portrait style. This set actually has like a sentiment. Let me see. I have like a little template that I keep in my pack. Perfect. Was made for it, don't you think? And I'll just hold that in place. And then fit that in like a little jigsaw and hold that in place while I run it through the die cutting machine. My tape's over here. Thank you, Steph. You're so sweet. I had no real idea what to create today, and I got an email from Martha, and she has some slimline dies and just wanted some ideas what to do with it. And I thought it's a great idea because I don't make a lot of them, and it's good for me to have fun. What do you reckon? This is going to be all right? Can never go wrong. The black and white sentiment. Central. So I either find it looks best, that flower isn't very strategically placed, top, middle, or near the bottom. Well, it would look better there. I love these. They make me make my decisions quicker. To be alive, I haven't got time to procrastinate. Have I? I'm just doubling up the sentiment so it doesn't. And some squares. I might even add some enamel dots to this one after, or even just some little crystals, or I think it has to be there. Is that straight? Okay, next one. How are we going for time? Oh, I'm getting there. So this is the one I was also going to die cut, this one with the long die cut, which is here now. Is it dry? That's right, Therese, touch it with the paint. I think this one also needs like a bold sentiment. Now that I've stamped it in the black, it's going to need like a bold black sentiment, I think. Whoops. It's such a long die that I want to try and get it all in one cut. That's a good idea. If you don't want the crease, I don't mind it. It's good to have options though. There's some beautiful like little scalloped edged ones. I think it was at Pink Fresh Studio have some awesome slimline border dies. So let's go again. This one kind of covers the whole front. The other thing I haven't been able to really get is some nice slimline envelopes. I like the ones that open at the end. Oh, Cheryl, I used Mermaid Lagoon, Wilted Violet, and the green was Twisted Citron. I will have everything linked once I've finished the cards and know exactly what I've used. Because I kind of have an idea in my head, but they're not, I don't pre-make them, so I don't really know exactly what we're going to create. Thanks for stopping by, Edith. Thank you. Enjoy dinner. Don't you think this one needs like a bold sentiment? Yeah, I have never gone down the road of making my own envelopes, and maybe this is the time when I do need to with something like this. I don't want to use that other, I don't want to make that one a landscape, but you could stamp something like that over, that'd be fun. Funny. A recipe for slimline envelopes. Oh, I don't know. What do you reckon? There's a U. No, it's not going to work. I think we have to go back to bold. That would almost work if I did it in black, wouldn't it? I know what I could do. I've got... Did you know these are back in stock? Where are they? Oh my... Where will I put them? Somewhere. My favourites. Featured sentiments dies and succulents. You're going to watch me move stamps around for an hour here. Let's do this. Okay, need some black cardstock. Told you I can move sentiments around forever. You thought I was joking. Okay. I think the bold hello looked good too. I just had a vision though. I really like Julie's sentiments. They are often tongue-in-cheek, which I like. I don't know if you can read that. So it says, for always being there when I can't afford a therapist. So now I need a thanks, don't I? Thank you. Could try that as well. That'll be bold. So I had an idea for another card, but I obviously am going to run out of time today, aren't I? We're up to 55 minutes, so we're nearly there. Maybe I can make it and share it at the blog. I do need more. No, I don't need more embossing powder because I have like 3 more things. I just haven't walked over to the drawers and filled. I'm actually trying to see how long this embossing powder, I've been running out of it for about, how long now, ladies? That's pretty fun. So, or maybe I can layer them up. They'd be exactly the same then. Could be funny. Yes, it gets very messy. Actually, my whole house is like a disaster zone right now. Oh, but that's okay. And I've also got visitors coming this weekend. Hi Kristen, welcome. If anyone's got a spare minute, they can pop round this afternoon and do a bit of cleaning, a little whip round while I'm at work. Keep Jojo company. I don't think you knew what hit him last weekend when they had this other dog here. It just barked all weekend. He doesn't bark at all. Lego City. It's good mess, isn't it? You know you're living. I keep them, I think, more central. It's got some fun sentiments in it, that set. But you could do anything here. feel like I almost need a die or a stamp. Does it work? Yes, you can play in my room. If you come and clean my house, you're more than welcome. It'd have to go that way, wouldn't it? So that's why I was thinking about doing it in the grey, because I was going to stamp over top, perhaps. I think I'll go back to plan A. That looks all right. That's a fun sentiment. The circle one, oh yeah. You could do it in a circle. I've got to commit now. Done it. Maybe the next card I'll do with the circle. What do you reckon? I've got just the friend I know I'm going to give this card to. Bye-bye, Julies. If you find those house berries, can you let me know? So how we go? 2 cards? That's my more clean and simple version. Oh, is that crooked? I do like the colours. Committing to sentiments is always my biggest dilemma. Hi! The cat always decides to jump up on the craft table. Embossing powder is the worst. No, actually, oh, thank you. Thank you. I will have a cup of tea before I go to work. Oh, you're so sweet. I do like these colours together. So hopefully I've given you some ideas for slimline cards. If you haven't made any yet, certainly give it a try. I've got one coming up later this week, and another one, oh, it might be next week as well. So you don't have to have the slimline dies to do it. It does kind of make it easier, but you can certainly extend a normal die that you have. You don't have to have massive stamps either. You can actually just use what you have and create a pattern, or do something a little bit more clean and simple, like I tried for the first card design. Yeah, teal blue, I've made so many cards using that colour. And I will work on doing a colour. I'd like to do like a colour combos, like my favourite colour combos, and share it with you guys. So if you want to know anything that I've used today, it'll all be listed below the video once it's gone up. Also, I'll have it at my blog. I'll take some more photos. Hopefully I'll be able to make the other card with what's left over and share that there too. If not, I'll do it soon, or maybe show you next time. I won't be here in 2 weeks' time because I'll be, like I said, I'll be down with my dad. Hopefully I'll be down with my dad if, depending on, if there's any outbreaks, I won't be able to leave. But at the moment, it's all looking good. So I'll get back to you and let you know when the next one's going to be. I have got an Alta New Academy class starting soon, so keep an eye out for that. Thank you, everybody. I better head off now. Got to get ready, go to work. Thank you for joining me. Always have such fun. And thanks again for your help, Michelle. Anyone's got any questions, they can type them in the comments down below the video, and I'll always get back to you as soon as I can. And have a fantastic day or night, depending on where you are. Hopefully you're not getting inches of rain like we are here. Thanks so much for joining me. Bye-bye.